Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, hi, my name is Buslavin Maliayo. I am a Nigerian registered nurse and midwife, and I'm also a United Kingdom registered nurse. On this channel, I talk about nursing and healthcare, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about intravenous cannulas. I am going to be talking about different types of cannulas, why they are used, as well as the adverse effects of using intravenous cannulas.
Intravenous cannulas are small, flexible tubes that are inserted into the vein. It is very common to find these cannulas in the hand or arm of a patient, but that is not only where they are inserted. It could be inserted into other parts of the body based on why they are inserting the cannula or when the veins of the hands are not accessible. And they are inserted for administration of fluids, medications, or nutrients. Here are some of the indications for IV cannulation. One, which is the most common one, is for fluid administration, either for hydration, to maintain electrolyte balance, or to manage shock. You can also use it for medication administration like IV antibiotics, IV analgesics, as well as chemotherapy. IV cannulation is also done for blood transfusion. It's also done if a patient cannot tolerate orally and the person needs to take nutrients, medication, fluids through the parenteral route. It can also be used for diagnostic procedures to insert contrast media, in for an imaging study such as your CT scans or your MRI scans. Then you also have emergency situations like when you want to administer drugs or you need to resuscitate a patient when they have lost a lot of fluid and blood and it has become a life threatening condition.
I actually have a video where I spoke about intravenous fluids, which these IV cannulas I also use to administer. To watch that video, you can click on this link here, and I'll also leave the link in the description box below. A very simple way to remember the different types of intravenous cannulas are through their colors. So in the next part of the video, we're going to be talking about the different forms of IV cannulas you will find in the hospital, the colors, and what they mean.
The first cannula we'll be talking about is the orange cannula, which is gauge for thin. It has a diameter of about 2.0 millimeters and a flow rate of approximately 240 ml per minute. And it is commonly used in emergency situations and when you need to do a massive blood transfusion. Next is the gray cannula, which is gauge 16, has a diameter of 1.7 millimeters and a flow rate of approximately 180 ml per minute. It is usually used for major surgeries and trauma care. Then we have the green cannula, which is gauge 18. Diameter is about 1.33 millimeters and a flow rate of 90 ml per minute. It is the one that is used generally for adults in the hospital, and this is also used for blood transfusion in adults. We also have the pink cannula, which is gauge 20, has a diameter of about 1.0 millimeters with a flow rate of approximately 60 ml per minute. It is used for routine IV therapies and it is also used for outpatient procedures. Next is the blue cannula, which is gauge 22, diameter of 0.8 millimeters and a flow rate of approximately 36 ml per minute. It is commonly used in pediatric patients and elderly patients that have very wobbly or fragile veins, and is also used to administer routine medications. Here we have the yellow cannula, which is gauge 24 with a diameter of 0.6 millimeters and a flow rate of approximately 20 ml per minute. It is commonly used in neonates and infants and also in elderly patients that have very fragile veins. Finally, we have the purple cannula, which is gauge 26 with a diameter of 0.45 millimeters and a flow rate of approximately 13 ml per minute. This is not a common cannula, you don't see it around a lot, and it is used for special cases when the vein is very fragile. Seeing that there are different forms or types of IV cannulas, here are some things that are considered before choosing which cannula size for what patient. Number one is the vein size of the patient and the condition of the patient. Another thing to consider is the type of therapy and how long that therapy is going to last, that is the duration. You also consider the patient's age. You remember that when I was talking about these different IV cannulas, there are some that were specifically for people of certain age brackets. Then the urgency of the situation is also considered before choosing what type of IV cannula to use.
Just before we move on to the adverse effects of IV cannulations, I need you to know that Nursing with Light Limited now has free audio tutorials on our website that you can access and listen to anytime, anywhere, all for free. All you need to do is to go over to our website www.nursingwithlight.com. There you'll find loads of audio lectures, you'll find quizzes that you can practice towards your exams. You'll also find links to materials that have been created for Nigerian student nurses towards their nursing council examinations. Now let's talk about the adverse effects of intravenous cannulas.
The first adverse effect of IV cannulation is phlebitis, which is the inflammation of the vein, and symptoms include pain, redness, and swelling along the vein that has been cannulated. And this can be prevented by ensuring that you use proper aseptic techniques when you're inserting the cannula and choosing the appropriate cannula size for the patient and the therapy. Next is infiltration, where the IV fluid is leaking into the surrounding tissues instead of directly into the vein. And the symptoms include swelling, coolness, and discomfort around the IV cannula insertion site. And the prevention is to regularly monitor the insertion site and secure the cannula placement. This is why you always see that when the cannula is inserted, they always secure it either with a plaster or a dressing around that cannula. Next adverse effect is extravasation, which is where there is leakage of vesicant or irritant drugs into the tissue and causing a severe damage. That would become obvious when the patient has pain, blistering, and there is tissue death around that area. And the prevention is to make sure that you are careful when you're administering drugs that may contain irritant through an IV line, and you always continue to monitor the IV line. Come back to check at regular intervals while the insertion line is doing and how the patient is doing as well. Local or systemic infection can also occur during IV cannulations because there might be bacterial entry into the bloody system. Symptoms of this include redness, swelling, fever, increased temperature, increased pulse, as well as pus forming around the insertion site. And how to prevent this is to ensure that you maintain strict aseptic techniques when you're inserting the cannula, check the site consistently, and change the cannula as per guidelines. Usually, it is advisable that cannula should not stay longer than 72 hours. And if the cannula is no longer in use, it is best to always remove them, even if they are not up to 72 hours, except there is a need to keep that cannula in situ. Another thing that could happen is hematoma, which is the accumulation of blood outside the blood vessels due to that puncture that has been done during the IV cannulation. The symptoms include swelling, bruising, as well as pain. And how to prevent this is to be very gentle and calm when you're inserting the IV cannula, and also apply pressure after removal of the cannula. Air embolism could also occur with IV cannulation, and this is when air enters the bloodstream and it is a very serious condition. Symptoms could include chest pain, shortness of breath, and dizziness. And the best way to prevent this is to ensure that there is no air in the IV line, especially when you're administering fluids. Ensure you prime your IV tubing before connecting it to the patient's cannula. By priming IV tubing, I mean priming your given set before connecting it to the patient.
I hope now you know so much about intravenous cannulas. If you want to see more of my videos, click on this playlist here and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!